I just like the sound of it.
Yo, YouTube, it's your boy Premier, back today with another banger, and in today's video we will be going over another rare build in NBA 2K20. It is called a two-way mid-range specialist. Big shout out to Nadexe. This build right here was made popular by him once he hit legend. But before we get any further into the video, PremierOG, I already know you're good for it, but if you're new, smash that like button, drop a nice comment below, subscribe if you're new, and while you're at it, turn those post notifications on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this build. First things first, you need to go ahead and make it a power forward, handed of course jersey numbers all up to you. Next, for the skill breakdown, you need to go ahead and select the skill breakdown with the most shooting and the most defense. With this skill breakdown right here, you will be able to guard centers that are 7'3", and you can guard a point guard if needed. Hands down, when you're thinking of like a two-way scoring type of build, this has got to be one of the best skill breakdowns in the game. So for the skill breakdown, make sure you choose the one with the most defense and the most shooting, the red and green pie chart.
I just like the sound.
For the physical profile on this build, you need to go ahead and select the second physical profile down. That way you get the most strength, the most vertical. On this build right here, you're going to see the benefits of hitting 99 and having gym rat once you go ahead and get this build maxed out all the way. So for the physical profile for this build to be called a two-way mid-range specialist, there is another physical profile I can tell you to look at, but I'll make another build video on that. You'll have to wait on that one. So for the physical profile, go ahead and select the second one down for a two-way mid-range specialist. Next, on these attributes here, go ahead and max out your close shot, max out your driving layup, max out your driving dunk, and then from there you need to go ahead and max out your standing dunk. You will end up with 7 finishing badges, which is kind of glitchy on this build. But next, from here, go ahead and move on to the shooting. We're gonna go ahead and max out your mid-range, max out your three-pointer. You cannot upgrade your free throw though for this build to be called a two-way mid-range specialist. You need to go ahead and max out your close fade. With the 13 shooting badges, this build right here is honestly glitchy. 7, 13. For a spot up build, it's really hard to ask for more balance. But from here, it's onto the playmaking. You need to go ahead and max out this build's post moves. Go ahead and upgrade it to a 69 if you want this build to be called a two-way mid-range specialist. Next, from here, you need to go ahead and max out your interior defense. You cannot upgrade your perimeter defense. Honestly, I had a little brain fart there. Next, you need to go ahead and upgrade your lateral quickness to a 52. You can only upgrade it to a 52 for this build to be called a two-way mid-range specialist. Next, from here, go ahead and max out your steal, max out your block, and then max out your offensive rebounding, max out your defensive rebounding, and then you will get 17 defense and rebounding badges on this build. Once you hit 99.9, these attributes are going to look very impressive, especially once you see what I'm about to do with this build. So from here, that's all on the build side of this video. Let's go ahead and move on to the body shape. And for the body shape, there is a few I want you to look at. Burly is a really good body shape for this build, especially if you're going to be playing a lot of comp. If you know you're going to have to set screens on this build at all, I definitely recommend Burly. But if you're just going to be spotting up on offense, I recommend Define for the longest arms possible. Once you see what I'm about to have to do with this build, you'll understand. But for the body shape, I recommend Define. Next, for the height, go ahead and leave it at the default 6'9" for this build. Next, for the weight, you need to go ahead and max out this build's weight for it to be called a two-way mid-range specialist. The reason why you need that 84 interior defense, 95 strength on this build is going to be super glitchy. You're going to be able to guard centers. This build right here can bang with even the best centers in the game. Once you have all of your Hall of Fame defensive badges, you're at 99.9, got gym rat once you're upgraded, not to mention if you got unlimited boost, not to mention if you're legend. This build right here is super glitchy. So yeah, for the weight, go ahead and select 275 pounds. Now for the wingspan, for this build to be called a two-way mid-range specialist, you need to go ahead and minimize the arms. That way you get the highest three-pointer, the highest mid-range. You do take a little bit of a loss to your block and to your steal a tad, but once you hit 99.9, that's going to kind of make up for that. So for the wingspan, make sure it's 81 inches. Now for the takeovers on this build, you can get a good look here at the spot up shooter, the sharp takeover. Not to mention, you can never forget about rim, glass, or post score. When you're going to be playing off the ball, when you're not the primary scorer, I do not recommend post score. And I shouldn't even be telling you all this. Once you master the post fades on this build, and if you have post score takeover, that is glitchy. but I think we're gonna have to save that for another build video. Can't never forget about Glass Cleaner Takeover, especially when you're going to be playing 2s a lot on this build. But honestly, for the comp purposes of this build, Rim Protector Takeover has got to be one of the best in this class, especially if you're going to be more focused on the defensive side of this build. I definitely recommend Rim Protector Takeover. That way you can guard the big body centers, the big body post scorers that try to back you down in the stage on the 2s court. Not to mention, just Rim Protector Takeover is going to raise all of your stats, if I'm not mistaken, by +10. Mike Wang, if only he could confirm some attributes for us. But if you're more so focused on the offensive side of this build, you can look at Sharp Takeover. Sharp Takeover has got to be one of the most overpowered takeovers in the game. Once you have Hall of Fame Steady Shooter, once you have Hall of Fame Deadeye, and you're using Sharp Takeover, if you need to see that build, go watch my Steady Shooter video I put on my channel. I literally greened 100% smothered with Sharp Takeover active. This has got to be one of the best takeovers in the game. But for the comp purposes of this build, if you're going to be playing a lot of 2s especially, I definitely recommend Rim Protector Takeover. And as you can see, you have built a 2-way mid-range specialist similar to John Collins, similar to Kevin Love. This build right here is one of the best legend builds in the game. Not to mention, if you're just gonna be playing on the 2s, you can really not find a better build. This build right here versus the rebounding wing is a really good debate. Honestly, this build for the more so offensive purposes, being able to dunk the ball a little better, being able to still shoot, space the floor, spotting up from the hash, this build right here is a demi. Let me know what you think of it down below. Let me know if you think it's a dub. Let me know if you think it's an L. And let me know what build video or video in particular you would like to see next. But that's all for today's video. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Make sure to turn those post notices on. It's your boy Premier, and I'm out. Peace!